गोपीजनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय यशोदा नंदना जय ब्रज जनरंजना जय यशोदानंदना जय ब्रज जनरंजना जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तिरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तिरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री रूपाल की जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव रमाई की जय नरसिंह भगवान की जय पंचतत्व की जय षड गोस्वामी की जय गुरु परंपरा की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय श्री गुरुदेव की जय गो हरि बोल ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtaprayesha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So Hare Krishna, Prabhu's Matajis. Thank you very much for joining. So let us discuss what is the verse today. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 12th chapter, verse number 21. Vignaya tavuttamagaya kinkara abhyuttitasadvasa vismritakramaha nama namani gृणन् madhudvishaha पार्षद प्रधानाव इति संहतांजलिः विज्ञाय तावुत्तमगाय किंकराव अभ्युत्थितस्साध्वस विस्मृतक्रमः नाम नामानि गृणन् मधुद्विषः पार्षद प्रधानाव इति संहतांजलिः. One Prabhu and Mamataji can recite.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Vignāya tāvut tamagāya kinkara abhyuttita sattva savismritakramaha nanāma nāmāni gृणन् madhudvishaha pārshat pradhana viti samhatāņjalihi. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
One Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. May I try?
Yes, please.
विज्ञायतावोत्तमगाय किङ्कराव अभ्युत्थितः सात् वसविस्मृतकृमः ननामनामानि गृह्णन् मधुत्वद्विषः पार्षत् प्रधानाव इति हम अताञ्जलिः.
Hare Krishna. Synonymous word to word meaning. Vignaya, after understanding. Tau, them. Uttama Gaya, of Lord Vishnu, of excellent renown. Kinkarau, two servants. Abhyutitaha, stood up. Sadvasa, by being puzzled. Vismrita, forgot. Kramaha, proper behavior. Nanama, offered obeisances. Namani, names. Grinan, chanting. Madhudvishaha, of the Lord, the enemy of Madhu. Parshat, associates. Pradhanav, chief. Iti, thus. Samhata, respectfully joined. Anjalihi, with folded hands. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Please hear the translation and purport. Guru Maharaj, seeing that these uncommon personalities were direct servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, immediately stood up. But being puzzled, in hastiness he forgot how to receive them in the proper way. Therefore, he simply offered obeisances with folded hands and chanted and glorified the holy names of the Lord. Purport. Chanting of the holy names of the Lord is perfect in every way. When Dhruva Maharaj saw the Vishnu Dutas, the direct associates of Lord Vishnu, four-handed and nicely decorated, he could understand who they were. But for the time being, he was puzzled. But simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna mantra, he could satisfy the uncommon guests who had all of a sudden arrived before him. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord is perfect. Even though one does not know how to please Lord Vishnu or his associates, simply by sincerely chanting the holy name of the Lord, everything becomes perfect. The devotee, therefore, either in danger or in happiness, constantly chants the Hare Krishna mantra. When he is in danger, he is immediately relieved. And when he is in a position to see Lord Vishnu or his associates directly, by chanting this Mahamantra, he can please the Lord. This is absolute nature of the Mahamantra. Either in danger or in happiness, it can be chanted without limitation. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadadikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Saganaragunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Pariyasaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagananita Shri Vishakhatamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tatta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubheva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yonta Pravishya Mama Vacha Mimam Prasuptam Sanjeevayati Akila Shakti Dharasvadamna Manyam Chahasta Charana Shravanatagadin Prana Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Mukam Karoti Vacharam Pangam Angaritam Yat Kripatam Mamante Pramani Namaram Namo Vishnu Krishna Vishnu Avutri Shmitam Bhavashu Samutinamani So Hare Krishna, Bhagavad Mataji, thank you very much to keep the appointment with Krishna today, 30th of April 2025, and very auspicious days. It's Akshaya Tritiya day. So happy Akshaya Tritiya to everyone. So let us see what we can imbibe from this beautiful verse from 4th canto, 12th chapter, verse number 21. See, in the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, no, Dhruva Maharaj's episode is one of the most important. So this Dhruva Maharaj's episode, no, this entire episode, it spans through 5 chapters. That is 4th canto, 8th chapter, right? Up to 4th canto, 12th chapter, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So beginning with Dhruva, it begins with for the whole 8th chapter, right? Beginning with Dhruva Maharaj, no, who was just a 5-year-old child. Then hurt by the bitter words of his mother, stepmother, and leaving home for performing austerity in the forest. For what? To attain a greater position, greater than his great-grandfather. And then we saw his successful completion of the tapasya, right? On the instruction of his guru, Srila Narada Muni. And then he taking the beautiful darshan of the Lord. And then returning home. And ruling his father's kingdom. And then fighting against the Yakshas for killing his brother. See, all the way up to winding up his stay in this world by performing severe austerity and remembering the Lord and going back home, back to Godhead. These are all for the 5 chapters. See, though we give the most of the importance to the wonderful determination of Dhruva Maharaj, unbreakable determination, which is very, very hard to emulate. So this 12th chapter, 4th canto, 12th chapter gives a lot of wonderful devotional qualities of Dhruva Maharaj that we should very much appreciate and try to follow. See, the entire 12th chapter in this canto, 4th canto, 12th chapter is a description of Dhruva Maharaj's different qualities. So we have to, when we read, we have to meditate on each of the verses. And then word to word meaning, translation, purport. Then imbibe those wonderful qualities. That's why in the 44th verse, Prabhupada writes in the purport, a sincere devotee should read every chapter and every word of Srimad Bhagavatam. He says a sincere devotee should read every chapter and every word of Srimad Bhagavatam. See, in the end of the 11th chapter, Dhruva Maharaj very respectfully listens to his grandfather Manu, right? Manu's advice to stop killing the Yakshas and immediately end his fighting, which he followed, immediately did. And in the beginning of the 12th chapter, Kuvera, we saw, right? Father of the Yakshas, he appeared before Dhruva Maharaj. And because of his peaceful nature and respectful attitude, Dhruva Maharaj, he bowed down before Kuvera. And Kuvera, instead of being angry at him, right? He became very pleased with him. And he offered him any benediction he wants. Now, because he was a pure devotee, Dhruva Maharaj, he was able to attract everyone with his respectful attitude. So even though Dhruva Maharaj was offered a blank check benediction from Kuvera, right? He was not greedy. Without being greedy, Dhruva Maharaj asked only for unflinching faith and remembrance of the Supreme Lord. So after receiving the benediction of devotional service, Dhruva Maharaj did not relax. He rendered devotional service with unrelenting force, continuous intensity. Never was he proud for receiving the blessings of the Lord, right? Thinking, oh, now I have attained the goal of my life. Let me go for a holiday. Which is often the case with all of us, especially with me, right? Especially after receiving shelter of a spiritual master, we say, okay, now I am initiated. This is not the attitude we should have. So at the same time, Dhruva Maharaj did not forego his material duties. That is also important. See, as a dutiful king, he ruled this planet immaculately for 36,000 years. He was very respectful to the devotees of the Lord. And he was kind to poor and innocent also. And he protected the religious principles. So, though he was very perfect in performing his prescribed duties, at the same time, he was completely detached from all the opulences. And when the time came, he duly handed over the charges to his son and left for Badrikashrama and engaged in full-fledged devotional service. Srimad Bhagavatam, while describing the people of Kali Yuga, mentions that we are all upadruta, means we are always disturbed. The main reason for all of disturbance is that we have complicated our life, right? So much complicated that like so many so-called innovations, right? Smartphones, digital, right? Air conditioning, microwave, so many things are there. We have become so much conditioned to this kind of complicated life that anything simple does not appeal to us. We apply the same mentality to our spiritual pursuit also. See, when the Shastras tell us the simplest way of deliverance in Kali Yuga, right? This is the simplest way, devotional service. We don't have the faith on the process. We always wonder, right? How such a simple process of chanting, just by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the Lord can be so sublime. In this way, we complicate our devotional service also. That's a very wonderful incident in Srimad Bhagavatam. Reveals to us that everything becomes perfect by simply chanting the holy name of the Lord. See, Dhruva Maharaj, after ruling the kingdom for 36,000 years, he left it and retired to Badrikashrama and engaged himself in loving devotional service. At that time, what happened? No? He saw that a very beautiful airplane, it descended from the sky. And he could see two very beautiful associates of Lord Vishnu in the plane. Who are they? They're none other than the Vishnu Dutas. They were of the same bodily feature as Lord Vishnu. So the reaction of Dhruva Maharaj on seeing these, that's what Prabhupada says, uncommon personalities. They're not common. It's described very nicely in this 21st verse. Right? Dhruva Maharaj seeing that these uncommon personalities were direct servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, immediately, what did he do? He stood up. Respect, immediately. But he was a bit puzzled. Being puzzled, what he did, in hastiness, he forgot how to receive them in the proper way, right? It so happens, somebody, some very important person, very respected, powerful person comes in front of us. We want to receive, we might always plan everything, but at that moment, we don't know what to do. It becomes blank out. So what he did, simply offered obeisances with folded hands and chanted and glorified the holy name of the Lord. So when we have a great personality as a guest in our place, we also become greatly puzzled. And we forget the proper formalities not to observe for receiving them. So Dhruva Maharaj was in a similar situation. And he did one simple thing, that is, with folded hands, he chanted and glorified the holy name of the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada writes, simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, he could satisfy the uncommon guests who had all of a sudden arrived before him, right? So the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is perfect. Even though one does not know how to please Lord Vishnu with all his associates, simply by sincerely chanting the holy name of the Lord, everything becomes perfect. See, we may not be ready with the required paraphernalia to receive a great guest, or we may not know the Vedic mantras. But for the simple process of chanting the holy name, we can create a perfect and pleasing atmosphere. So Srila Prabhupada remarks that either in danger or in happiness, the holy name can be chanted without limitation. That the chanting of the holy name perfectly fits in any situation is so nicely described in a wonderful prayer. Sukha vasane tvaidam eva saram, dukkha vasane tvidam eva geyam, deha vasane tvidam eva japyam, govinda damodara madhaviti. Sukha vasane tvidam eva saram, dukkha vasane tvidam eva geyam, deha vasane tvidam eva japyam, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. This indeed is the essence found upon ceasing the affairs of the mundane happiness. And this too is to be sung after the cessation of all sufferings. This alone is to be chanted at the time of death of one's material body. Govinda Damodara Madhava. So let us make this a prayer to our tongue, no? That it should always worship and chant the holy name of the Lord. See, one important quality is giving satisfaction to all living entities. Sarvabhuta Anuranjan. Actually, different living entities have different desires. And it is not possible for a person to satisfy all the living entities, right? The same thing will not apply to everyone. However, a devotee of the Lord, no, he preaches the Lord's message, which will give satisfaction to whoever receives it. And even for those who are not receiving it, a devotee gives satisfaction just by his presence and association. We have seen, so many acharyas, they come, we go and have their darshan, right? Hearing their katha, their kirtan, automatically he gets purified. See, the basic thing which will satisfy any person is recognizing his importance and giving the due respect and being courteous. If a devotee does not do this, he will be committing a jiva parad. See, sometimes we become so busy, right, in our service and imagine ourselves to be transcendental to all the formalities, such as to be kind and courteous. I'm busy, right? Usually we tend to think, I am serving my Guru and Krishna. So I don't have to care about other devotees and especially non-devotees. This mentality does not show our advancement or busy in Krishna consciousness. Rather, our passionate and proud nature comes out. So pure devotee is very courteous and he recognizes each and every person. He does not say, I am busy in serving Guru and my Guru Maharaj and Krishna. Although he's actually busy in serving Guru and Krishna, but still he will not do that. He will be compassionate to everyone, listens to everyone, has time for everyone. See, there's a very nice line from Srila Prabhupada's letter to one of his disciples, where he says, please continue your service to Krishna in the form of book distribution. My greetings to your wife and son. And with this letter, I have sent some foreign stamps for your son. Hope he will like them. See, the disciple's son, no, he was a philatelist, stamp collection, right? And this great Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, who travels tirelessly all over the globe, and he has written so much of Vedic knowledge, translation in the Bhagavatam, right? He does not forget to recognize the small kid of his disciple and his desires. See, actually, nobody is going to question Prabhupada, right? If he doesn't inquire about the child. And it is true sense of, and in the true sense of Krishna consciousness, he responds to the desire of this small kid. This is the real spirit of thinking of other living entities. Sarva Bhuta Nuranjana, right? See, this comes when a person is factually busy in the service of his Guru and Krishna, not hypocrisy. Many times we ignore people around us and become callous to their feelings. When we are questioned about this, we safely reply, I am really busy in my Krishna conscious activities. I don't have time to these mundane, or I do not need to have time for these things. That's what we feel. See, from this incident where Prabhupada has written beautifully, we can learn. It is only because of our lack of Krishna consciousness we behave like this. I don't have time. And not because we are busy in serving the Lord. Lack of Krishna consciousness. And when we start honestly admitting this fact, Krishna will help us to manage our time properly and understand the value of people who are surrounding us, whether they're devotees or non-devotees. See, I have practically seen with my Guru Maharaj. See, when I went to Rajkot during Janmashtami some years back, it was such a busy occasion. Maharaj was spending a few minutes with whoever wanted to talk to him. And whenever somebody calls, right, he never puts the phone saying, I am busy. Rather, he talks for a few minutes and inquires the basic well-being of that person, how his family, how his children, everything. After Janmashtami, one of my godbrother, and his wife and his kid, they had gone from Rajkot, they had gone to Dwaraka for 2 days. And when they returned back to Rajkot, We're coming by train. See, without that Prabhu's asking for a drop from the railway station to the temple, Maharaj, he came straight to the station with Vaishnava Seva Prabhu, driving the van and took them back to the temple. Then that Prabhu said, we later heard from the devotees that Maharaj was so busy going to different parts of the city during that day, all day, and still made it a point to come and receive us. And was in that ripe age, almost 85 plus, he tirelessly works to preach Krishna consciousness by actually caring for every soul who comes across him. Even though he's extremely busy 24/7, that does not budge him, right, by an inch in being courteous to others. He's always courteous. So these things clearly show that our so-called transcendental behavior is simply a nonsense. Nothing to do with Krishna consciousness. See, on a honest introspection, we can clearly understand that it is due to lack of time management and lack of value for others. Let us pray, right, sincerely at the feet of Gurus, Prabhupada and Krishna and all the wonderful devotees. So let us try to imbibe their qualities to some extent. See, bad behavior always affects our healthy existence. Bad behavior, right? And it not only affects our healthy existence, but also affects our blood circulation. The bad mentality, which we have to get rid of, right? How to get rid of the bad mentality? So what are this bad mentality? There's a very nice acronym, Pepsi. We all know that Pepsi is a fizzy drink, right? Which can seriously affect our health. So we should avoid that. So the bad behavior Pepsi to be avoided is what? What are those bad? P for polluted mind. Durashayaha. Polluted mind. P for. So mean-mindedness. Mean-mindedness, no, it pollutes our mind. And we go on developing mean-mindedness and suffer from heart attacks, stomach ulcers, cancer, right? So this is polluted mind. Durashayaha. Then E is envious nature. We are always pained to see the flourishing condition of others. Envy. See, when somebody prospers more than us, we always try to minimize their stature. So the subtle envy always flows within us. Envious nature. Then P, piercing words. We pierce others with our harsh utterings. In Kali Yuga, we are all expert in piercing the hearts of others with the arrows of our sharp words. So this is piercing words. Polluted mind, envious nature, piercing words. And S, seeing with discrimination. The root of discrimination is envy of another's prosperity. Now, because we discriminate, we start criticizing others, considering ourselves to be self-appointed judges. And then last is I. I am the enjoyer of all fruitive results. I am the enjoyer. So every one of us is feeling that we are the creators and controllers and the bona fide enjoyers of all the fruitive results. So drinking of this Pepsi poses serious health problems for all of us. But this Pepsi can be counteracted by drinking Krishna conscious Pepsi. As is beautifully given in this chapter, 37th verse is given, 4 to 37. Persons who are peaceful, equipoised, cleansed, and purified, and who know the art of pleasing all the other living entities, keep friendship only with the devotees of the Lord. They alone can very easily achieve the perfection of going back home, back to Godhead. So let us see what is this Pepsi. The first P is peaceful, Shantaha. If we are peaceful, it means that we have no demands for sense gratification. And this ensures that we are not at all envious of other living entities. Shanta, peaceful. Then comes E is equipoised. Samadrisha. A devotee sees everyone on the same transcendental platform. A devotee sees all living entities with spiritual vision, right? And does not discriminate on the platform of this bodily concept of life. So seeing with discrimination is counteracted by equipoised nature. Then comes the P, purified, Shuddha. A devotee is always purified by constant chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Therefore, no contamination of the middle world can touch him. So this counteracts the polluted mind or the mean-mindedness. Then comes S is satisfying all the living entities. A devotee knows the art of pleasing all the living entities with high-class behavior. A devotee's speech is always gentle and pleasing, and this counteracts the piercing words which displeases the living entities. And last I is intimate relationship with the devotees of the Lord. Achyuta Priya Bandhavaha. See, when we go on associating with these Ishvara-minded people, Krishna conscious, then we come to understand that the Supreme Lord is the bona fide enjoyer of all the fruitive activities. So the tendency that I am the enjoyer is counteracted. So the Krishna conscious Pepsi is above, will take us to Krishna, peace. And the bad behavior Pepsi is like the bottled Pepsi, which will take us away from Krishna, disease. So we need to seek the unlimited mercy from this Guru Prabhupada and Krishna, right? So that we can inherit this Krishna conscious Pepsi and develop the qualities in this life itself. See, the qualifications of the people to enter Vaikuntha planets are very nicely described in the 36th verse of this chapter. See, even when his stepmother treated him badly, Dhruva Maharaj was very nicely instructed by his mother not to retaliate or even think of anything inauspicious for his stepbrother or stepmother. Instead, what she did, she rightly guided him towards Krishna consciousness, towards Krishna. And Dhruva Maharaj also respected the words of his mother. So in the end, we find that both the mother and son are able to reach Vaikuntha planets. See, we find that Narada Muni, spiritual master of Dhruva Maharaj, while instructing the Prachestas in 4:31:19, he says, Daya sarvabhuteshu santushtayena kenava sarvendra upashantya tushatyashu janardana. By showing mercy to all living entities, being satisfied somehow or the other, and controlling the senses from sense enjoyment, one can very quickly satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Janardana. You can remember by MSC, mercy to all living entities. S is satisfied in any circumstances, and C is controlling the senses. So this Daya Sarvabhuteshu, first one, right, showing mercy to all living entities. The purport, Prabhupada very nicely explains what this mercy actually means. He says, the best way to show mercy is to spread Krishna consciousness. See, the entire world is suffering for want of this knowledge. People should know that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original cause of everything. Knowing this, everyone should directly engage in his devotional service. Those who are actually learned, advanced in spiritual understanding, they should preach Krishna consciousness all over the world so that people may take it and make their lives successful. So, Sarva Bhuteshu is significant because it applies not only to the species of life. Devotee can do not only to humanity, to all living entities. Everyone can benefit spiritually by chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So when the transcendental vibration of Hare Krishna is sounded, even the trees, the animals, insects, they also benefit. So when one chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra loudly, it actually shows mercy to all living entities. So distributing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to all living entities is the best way to show mercy and compassion to all living entities. So let us direct our time and energy in this precious service, instead of misusing it in disrespecting or being unkind to all of them. Only then we will be eligible to candidate to go to Vaikuntha. Only one thing is required, that is sincere devotional service. And when that is there, everything else is easily available. Now, because physically we are not following the intense devotional practice, that is why these qualities are not shown in our personality. But if devotional service is very intensely followed, then there is no dearth of these qualities. They will be automatic. But you have to understand ourselves and find some tricks so that we can remember these verses. My Maharaj used to say, unless you try to churn the mind, churning of the ocean is churn the mind and try to understand these things, how are you going to preach? He said, our main duty is to preach. And preaching is not the goal of our existence. But we want to intensify our devotional service. So for intensifying our devotional service, preaching is required. Otherwise, we lose the goal of our devotional service. And that is why each one of us must have separate programs. This is Lamanta programs at your own home you can create. Read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Verses, translation, purpose, word to word meaning, whatever Prabhupada has given us. And by his mercy, you will have the intelligence to speak and discuss with people. People will enjoy. If you don't know anything, in one of the classes, just remembering that, Maharaj said, if you don't know anything, then sing at least Mahamantra. If you don't want to do that, just think that you are going to start the program. But don't remain in that position for long, just thinking of starting the program. He said, try sincerely. And if you can't do that at least chant Mahamantra yourself. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And he said, if you can't do that, at least remember Krishna's names. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And if you can't do that, then at least think that you're going to chant Krishna. And further he said, thinking at least should work, right? And further he was telling, if you can't even think, do that, then do one thing. He said, come to Dwaraka. There is a nice Sangam, Gomti river. Very powerful. Tie a stone to your waist and throw yourself into it. So that your dead body should also not come out. He said, there is no need to live. So he was telling, please don't be discouraged. Courage will take you forward and try to understand these Bhagavatam verses. It is said in the spiritual world, every sound is music, every step is dance, every day is festival. So likewise, going through Srila Prabhupada's writings, we can see that whatever Prabhupada wrote, be it translation, word to meaning, purpose, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or notes in his diary or letters to his disciples, well-wishers, everything is nectar. And it just gives us a glimpse of what a great Paramatma Srila Prabhupada is. See, I went through 2 letters which Prabhupada had written to Sally Agarwal in November 1966. Now, Sally Agarwal Mataji is wife of Shriman Gopal Agarwal, who sponsored for Srila Prabhupada's visit to United States. So they were living in Butler, and they provided assistance to Srila Prabhupada during the first 3 weeks of his stay in US. Now, Sally Mataji, being a Westerner, used to give even meat powder for her little children, Bijo and Kamala. But somehow during the 3 weeks of stay, Srila Prabhupada used to cook his meals at their home, gave them prasadam, and developed very nice cordial relationship with her. And she arranged for quite a few meetings in her neighborhood, as well as the churches where Srila Prabhupada could speak about his mission. See, in those initial days, Prabhupada tried personally to contact booksellers to get his books distributed. And Gopal Agarwal Prabhuji was also helping in sending the books to booksellers in other cities. Later, when Srila Prabhupada moved to New York, he continued to write letters to them. There is one beautiful letter dated 13th November 1965. He said, "My dear daughter Sally, please hear very carefully. I thank you very much for your letter of the 9th instant. And I'm very much glad to note that your little Bijo is growing to be more adventurous nowadays. Generally, the son acquires the qualities of the mother and the daughter acquires the qualities of the father. And such children become happy in life." So Prabhupada is again writing, you have acquired the qualities of your intelligent father. And your son will be as intelligent as you are. And thus your son will be as good as your noble father. I wish that you be happy more and more with your growing children. And this is a very nice point which Prabhupada writes. He's telling Sally Mataji, you can take me also as old Bijo. Small child is Bijo. So Prabhupada is telling himself that you can take me also as old Bijo. And therefore, even at my ripe old age, I have taken some adventurous task. And as your little Bijo requires your help always in his little adventures, so also your old Bijo requires your help in his adventures in America. So these lines of Prabhupada show how personal he was in his interaction with everyone. He had a great mission to be accompanied by the order of his spiritual master. See, as mentioned by Prabhupada himself, it was indeed an adventurous task to move out of one's own country, right, to a place where nothing was known for sure, neither the place of stay nor the response of the people to his mission. Sometimes when uncertainties daunt in us in life, right, we get bogged down and we stop even basic communication with others, right? But Srila Prabhupada was unique. One other nice quality we can see here is that Srila Prabhupada never hesitated in engaging anyone in Krishna's service, since he was doing it for the pleasure of his spiritual master and Krishna, and not for his personal benefit, right? Because of that, he could reach out to all with innocent heart like a child. So if all our ideas are dedicated to Krishna, if all our ideas are dedicated to Krishna, then the actions will be Krishna conscious. So we don't have to worry about it. The worries are only there when we are not Krishna conscious. So you have to cultivate the devotion, no? So to cultivate the devotion, you don't require material qualifications, not at all. Devotion is inbuilt in us. And it is our birthright, no? As soon as devotion, unflinching faith in the Lord is there, all these qualities will flow one after the other. See, the Lord is equal to all. There's a nice Hindi poem by Surdas, who was blind, right? He's glorifying the equality of the Lord. प्रभु मोरे अवगुण चित्त न धरो, समदर्शी है नाम तिहारो, चाहे तो पार करो। एक लोहा पूजा में राखत, एक घर बधिक परो, पारस गुण अवगुण नहीं, चितयत कंचन करत खरो. He says, Sudas is praying, Dear Lord Krishna, please do not consider my bad qualities. You are known as Samadarshi, you who are equal to everyone. So, if you want, please liberate me. One piece of iron is used in puja. Another one is laying at the blacksmith's place. But the touchstone doesn't consider this, but turns both into gold. See, when the gutter joins the Ganges river, it also becomes the Ganges. So even we are so full of bad qualities. When we join Krishna, we become pure like Krishna. So the Lord is equal to all. Then coming another important point is saving time for service to Krishna. See, once a king invited Surdas to sing bhajans at his court. After about 10 bhajans, king stopped him and said, now you sing bhajans about me. Surdas was not happy and he declined. The king immediately arrested him and sent him to jail. But Surdas was not afraid. He said, don't again invite me to your court because you have wasted my time from performing my devotional service. See, in one of the classes, when my Guru Maharaj asked to one of the devotees, I think his disciple's son, how much do you sleep every day? 12 hours? Then half your life is wasted. Say, Maharaj, he was telling a very good example. He said, say you live for 70 years. 35 years of a life will be wasted in sleeping. 20 years in sporting. 20 years in invalidity in old age. 5 years for brushing teeth, like that he was giving. So where is the time for Krishna? He said, we must do one thing. Simplify the things. Then we will have time for devotional service to Krishna. So he gave an acronym. He said, please try to remember this. C, D, E, F, G. You know ABCD, right? C, D, E, F, G. C for cleanliness. So cleanliness is a must. Without cleanliness, we cannot be D, discipline. First is C, cleanliness. So cleanliness is a must, right? So without cleanliness, we cannot be D, disciplined. So cleanliness gives discipline in life, which is a prerequisite for E, education. So education is needed. F for G, for God. Everything ends up in Him. Those who know this, that's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Those who know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samaritaha. One of the seed verses of Bhagavad Gita. So whatever is our duty, we must do it nicely. Then Krishna will like us. Otherwise, he will not like us. So only if Krishna remembers you, you can chant. We are chanting because Krishna remembers us. So we should follow all these things, C, D, E, F, G. Then we can chant. Cleanliness, discipline, education for God. The next point we have to understand where Krishna lives, where the Lord lives. Hari sada vaset tatra yatra bhagavata janaha gayanti bhakti bhavena hare nama eva kevalam. This Kevalashtakam is beautiful. Lord Shri Hari forever dwells wherever devotees whose hearts are fixed on him and free of all impurities uplift their voices high and sing his name in ecstasy. The holy name of Sri Hari is surely all that be. See, once Narada Muni, he went to find Krishna in Vaikuntha, right? After traveling for a long time, he finally met him. And Krishna was running. He said, wait, no, I'm busy. He said, wait. I know you're very busy. So Narada Muni asked Krishna, see, in the future, if I want to see you, is there any simple way I can reach you? Any address and phone line? Please give me the number. Right? So that I am searching you for a long time. So Krishna replied, Naham tishtami vaikunte yoginam hridayeshu va tatra tishtami narada yatra gayanti madbhaktaha. Oh Narada, I am not in Vaikuntha, nor am I in the hearts of the yogis. I remain where my devotees glorify my name, form, qualities, and transcendental pastimes. So even in your house, if you have the deities, if you have photos of Krishna, that is Krishna's address. If you chant at home, that is also Krishna's address. Just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So when we chant Krishna, he has millions of phone lines, but he answers all of them. So this is a very important point, right? So it's so wonderful. So to try to understand, see if we critically test, try to understand this Krishna conscious movement, you will feel that is so wonderful. Process is very simple. You have to just chant Hare Krishna Mantra. Chanting this Hare Krishna Mantra is transcendental vibration. We have seen that sound is the origin of all creation, right? So the transcendental sound, if you vibrate, you will understand very quickly this philosophy of Krishna consciousness. There is no loss in your part. In one of the classes, Prabhupada said, suppose you chant Hare Krishna, do you lose anything? So if we don't lose, we gain something, why don't you try it? And Prabhupada he says simply, I simply request you with folded hands, kindly chant Hare Krishna. We are just requesting, we're not asking you to pay, right, or suffer or be educated, engineer, lawyer, just come to us. Never mind what you are, he said. You stay in your own position. Sthane sata. Simply try to chant these 16 words. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. And Professor, you try for 1 week. You can try for 1 week. Chanting Hare Krishna mantra. No hard and fast rules. You can chant anywhere and everywhere. While walking, you can chant. While driving, you can chant. He said, nobody going to tax you. You're chanting, give me this tax. No, it's very easy, right? So this chanting expands blissfully, gives a very cooling effect to everyone. So if you chant, the result will be that your mind will be cleansed. This is an important point to understand. No designation. Then you will not feel that I am Indian, I am so. All the problems will be solved. You have to stand in this spiritual understanding. Then these are the solutions to all the material problems, right? Very authentic. So simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare, and you can see the result practically. Just chant for 1 week. We are trying so many other things, right? Try this for 1 week. This is very wonderful. So the scriptures, are full of descriptions of the importance and value of chanting Hare Krishna mantra. But our materialistic mind, it does not get convinced. We start thinking just by vibrating a certain combination of syllables, or we can get all this entanglement of the material world can be eradicated. Because we have the least idea of the transcendental sound vibration. The effect it has, how the potency of all the sound vibration has been invested by Krishna in Hare Krishna mantra. It's all ignorance, right? We have to accept it. Then we can understand. Because this chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, Nartumata Shakra says, Golokera prema dhan Hare nama sankirtana. This is imported from Goloka, this Mahamantra. So we have to understand very clearly that sound is the creation of all material objects for our sense gratification. But if sound is purified, our spiritual necessities also gets purified and we get bliss all along. See, some very valuable lessons we can learn to imbibe in our minds, especially when people get initiated. No, what are the lessons? One, the real meaning of initiation is to change the vibrations that are coming from our homes. Transcendental vibrations attracts everyone. So we must increase the transcendental vibrations and keep the material vibration to the minimum extent required. This is the first point. Second is, we must ignore the flickering and unsteady mind, okay, which is the source of all sorts of disease. Ignore. We must remember that initiation is just the beginning of our spiritual life and it is not the end. Third point, we should not become complacent after initiation. Rather, we must be fired up to increase our sadhana and service more and more. Every day we need to initiate our devotional service. Chanting, reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Vishwopanishad. If we are neglecting this process, then our initiation is cancelled. Even if you are already initiated. That is a very powerful statement my Maharaj said. And we are non-different from the monkeys in circus. That is it. If you are not following. The fourth point is, following 4 regulative principles is a must. Controlling our eating, thinking, seeing, hearing, touching is initiation. Controlling. See, we may have TV at the home, but it is up to us to decide whether we are going to waste time seeing it or use time in Hari Kirtan. Fifth point, material life's dualities, that is ups and downs, should not affect our sadhana. There may be so many difficulties, right? But it should not affect our sadhana. We should always be doing that. So try to avoid committing sins knowingly. Cut your coat according to your cloth. Give up the grabbing nature. The sixth point, always have the number 1, bead bag to chant and cleanse your heart. And B, small piece of cloth, duster, to clean the surroundings. Chanting bag and the duster. Cleanliness. Then if you have clean atmosphere, all the surroundings, then miseries will never touch you. And the 7th point, obey your parents, else your health is affected. Obey your parents, else your health is affected. This is not only for children. We are all elderly people also. They are children. They are elders, right? For them also, everybody. Obey your parents, otherwise your health is affected. And the last 8th point is, see Krishna even in those who trouble you. Each and every soul is guided by Krishna. So always be peaceful. We should always be cool-headed. See, Tukaram, one of the dear devotees of Lord Krishna, he was once invited by a rich businessman to his house to perform bhajans. The wife of businessman was very inimical to all these things. So she poured boiling water on Tukaram when he entered their house. Without being affected by her cruel acts, Tukaram took it as Krishna's mercy and left the place silently. Now, soon after this incident, the businessman's wife developed white leprosy all over the body. No medication could cure her disease. People knew that it was because of the offense she had committed and advised her to rub her body with the dust from the lotus feet of Tukaram. She realized her mistake and regretted for the offense committed and was relieved of her disease by the dust of his lotus feet. So please try to tolerate your miseries. The more tolerant you are, more you would be humble and troubles will vanish. Minimum of 16 rounds needs to be chanted every day. Not just 16. Minimum of 16 rounds needs to be chanted every day. And the last is also recite the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, shlokas and translation. This should help us to remember the qualities which please Lord Krishna and would inspire us to put them into practice in our day-to-day life. And in the purport, finally I will stop here after reading. I took a very wonderful purport, 8th canto, 3rd chapter, 1st verse purport, where Prabhupada says very nicely with regard to chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. He says, it is imperative, therefore, that all devotees in Krishna consciousness practice chanting some mantra. Certainly, one should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is the Maha Mantra or great mantra. And also one should practice chanting Chintamani Prakara Sadmushu or the Narsimha Stotra. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimho Yato Yato Yame Tato Narsimha. He said, every devotee should practice in order to chant some mantra perfectly. So that even though he may be imperfect in spiritual consciousness in this life, in his next life, he will not forget Krishna consciousness, even if he becomes an animal. He's talking about Gajendra. Of course, a devotee should try to perfect his Krishna consciousness in this life. For simply by understanding Krishna and his instructions, after giving up this body, one can return home back to Godhead. Even if there is some fall down, practice of Krishna consciousness never goes in vain. For example, Ajamila in his boyhood practiced chanting the name of Narayana under the direction of his father. But later in his youth, he fell down and became a drunkard, woman hunter, rogue, and thief. However, because of chanting the name of Narayana for the purpose of calling his son, whom he had named Narayana, he became advanced, even though he was involved in sinful activities. Prabhupada, the final statement is beautiful. He says, therefore, we should remember this statement always. Therefore, we should not forget the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra under any circumstances. Therefore, we should not forget the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra under any circumstances. Why? It will help us in the greatest danger as we find in the life of Gajendra. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tagopim Vancha Kalpataru Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavane Vivasham Anantakudi Vaishnav Vicha. Thank you very much, Prabhupada Mataji, for this opportunity to glorify the Lord and try to purify ourselves. If you have any questions or any takeaways, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you repeat the synonym for Pepsi, Prabhuji?
Oh, 1 minute.
Acronym, sorry.
Acronym. Okay. There are two actually, Mataji. One is for the good one and there is the bad one.
Tell both, Prabhuji. Once again,
Okay.
repeat.
Just
Recording will be given, no, Prabhuji? So we
recording,
can note it down.
I will try to give.
Thank you.
1 minute, just hold on. Yeah. So the bad one is P, polluted mind. E, envious nature. P, piercing words. S, seeing with discrimination. And I am the enjoyer of all fruitive results. This is the bad Pepsi. And the good Pepsi, Krishna conscious Pepsi. P, peaceful. E, equipoised. P, purified. S, satisfying all the living entities. And I, intimate relationship with the devotees of the Lord. Is it okay, Mataji?
Intimate devotees? Hare Krishna Prabhuji, intimate devotee?
Intimate relationship with the devotees.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful class, Prabhuji.
Gurudev ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai.
And this also, this acronym also very good, Prabhuji. CDEF.
CDFG.
Easy to remember, Prabhuji.
Yeah, true.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Gurudev ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Gurudev ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Santosh Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Surdas, though being blind, he has called God impartial. So imagine how much he is enlightened and how much to learn from him, Prabhuji.
Correct. True, Mataji. True. Very
Thank you
nice.
so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. So thank you, Prabhu's Matajis, for this patiently hearing, and hope we're able to imbibe certain qualities which we can put in our daily life. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Can I stop here now?